London is one of the best cities in the world to visit, but choosing where to stay can be surprisingly difficult.
You're picturing yourself strolling past Big Ben, catching a West End show, and finding that perfect pub for a pint. But then the planning actually starts. You look at a hotel map and suddenly you're drowning in names. Covent Garden, Shoreditch, Kensington, the City of London. London is gigantic, the options feel endless, and there's that little voice in your head whispering, what if I picked the wrong spot?
You don't want to spend half your trip on the tube. You don't want to overpay for a tiny room in the wrong area. And you definitely don't want to end up somewhere that just doesn't match the kind of trip you had in mind. So in this video, I'm going to break down the best areas to stay in London, from the heart of the West End to quieter, more budget-friendly neighbourhoods, so you can choose the right base for your trip.
Alright, let's kick things off with the big one. It's your first time in London and you want to be right in the middle of everything. You have a checklist: Buckingham Palace, the British Museum, the Tower of London, and you want to soak up as much of that classic London vibe as you possibly can. If this is you, staying central is a must. Yes, it will cost more, but for a shorter trip, the convenience is priceless, especially if it's your first time in London. You're paying for location and the magic of walking out your door and being surrounded by history. The natural starting point is the West End. This is the entertainment and cultural heart of London. First up, the slightly more refined side, Bloomsbury and Fitzrovia. Bloomsbury is the city's literary and academic soul, home to the British Museum and a collection of beautiful leafy garden squares. It has a calmer, more intellectual atmosphere, while still being incredibly central. Fitzrovia, its neighbour, has a slightly edgier media buzz, packed with great pubs and restaurants that feel a touch more local than the main tourist hubs. Both are fantastic for being central while escaping the worst of the crowds. Marylebone is tucked away north of Oxford Street, and it feels like a true urban village. It has a fantastic high street full of unique boutiques, cosy cafes, and the famous Daunt books. It's remarkably peaceful and sophisticated, offering a slice of refined London life. Then you have the undisputed centres of entertainment, Covent Garden and Soho. If you have a picture postcard image of London in your head, it probably looks a lot like Covent Garden, with its cobblestone piazza, incredible street performers, high-end shops, and the Royal Opera House. Or perhaps the village-like atmosphere of Neal's Yard. This is the heart of Theatreland. If you're planning to see a show, you can't get much closer than this. Right next door, Soho is its louder, grittier and more thrilling sibling. For decades it's been the pulsing core of London's entertainment and nightlife scene, a chaotic maze of legendary music venues, hidden bars, world-class restaurants and iconic bars. The vibe in this part of the West End is electric, 24/7. The catch? Both are among the most expensive places to stay in London, and they can be seriously crowded and loud.
Let's hop across the river to the South Bank, Southwark and Waterloo. This area is fantastic for first-timers, especially if you're travelling with family. You're right on the River Thames with stunning sweeping views of the city skyline. This is where you'll find the London Eye, the Tate Modern, Shakespeare's Globe, and the incredible Borough Market, a total paradise for foodies. The walk along the river here is one of the best in the city. Accommodation is mostly modern, large-scale hotels, and it's tough to beat for convenience and views.
Then there's the City of London, also known as the Square Mile. This is London's historic core and its modern financial district. By day, it's a whirlwind of suits and commerce. By night and weekends, it becomes surprisingly quiet. This is the oldest part of London, and you're literally steps away from history, with the Tower of London and St Paul's Cathedral right on your doorstep. For history buffs who appreciate a quiet evening, it's a fantastic central choice. Finally, there's the epicentre of royalty and politics, Westminster. If you want to wake up and see the Houses of Parliament, this is your spot. You're just steps away from Buckingham Palace, Westminster Abbey and Big Ben. It's grand, it's historic, and walking around here feels like you're on a film set. The hotels here often match the grand surroundings. Think elegant, traditional, and yes, very expensive. It can be packed with tourists during the day, but it can get surprisingly quiet at night after the tour buses leave. Okay, so maybe your perfect London trip involves less queuing and more swiping of a credit card. If you're looking for 5-star service, Michelin-starred meals and a neighbourhood that feels as exclusive as it is beautiful, then let's talk about London's luxury heartland. First up, the undisputed king of London luxury, Mayfair. This is the most expensive property on the Monopoly board. It's where you find London's most prestigious addresses, the most famous 5-star hotels like the Dorchester and Claridge's, and flagship stores for global luxury brands on Bond Street. The atmosphere is quiet, old money elegance. The streets are spotless, the art galleries are world class, and the restaurants are some of the most famous on the planet. Just to the west we have Knightsbridge and Belgravia. Knightsbridge is home to two of the world's most famous department stores, Harrods and Harvey Nichols, making it a dream for serious shoppers. The area is all opulent red brick Victorian townhouses. Belgravia, its neighbour, is even more exclusive and residential. A world of immaculate white stucco-fronted houses, garden squares and embassies. Staying in this zone is an experience in pure opulence. The downside is obvious. These are arguably the most expensive neighbourhoods in London. Hotels are almost all 4 or 5 star, and everything comes with a serious price tag.
Slightly different, but no less refined, is Chelsea. It has an artsy, though still very affluent history. It's known for the King's Road, a fashion hub since the 60s, and its absolutely beautiful flower-lined streets. It feels more residential and village-like than Knightsbridge, perfect if you want luxury with a slightly more relaxed neighbourhood vibe. If your trip is more about discovering London's bar, club and creative scenes, you need a neighbourhood with a more alternative vibe.
Now let's head east to Shoreditch and Hoxton. This was once a gritty industrial area, but it's now London's undisputed capital of cool. The neighbourhood is a living art gallery with incredible street art covering the buildings. It's packed with independent boutiques, vintage shops and some of the most innovative restaurants in the city. The nightlife here is legendary, from trendy cocktail bars and rooftop terraces to huge nightclubs and converted warehouses. Shoreditch has a hipster vibe and feels younger, more alternative and a little bit edgier than Soho. The only real downside is that you're a bit further from the classic tourist sites, so you'll be spending more time on public transport.
Right next to Shoreditch is Whitechapel, which is worth considering if you're looking for better value. It's a bit rough around the edges and it doesn't have that classic London feel, but it's very well located. You're right on the edge of the city, with excellent transport links that can get you into central London in minutes. So if you're willing to trade a bit of polish for lower prices and a convenient location, Whitechapel is a solid practical option.
Alright, quick pause. We're halfway through our tour of London's neighbourhoods. If this guide is helping you out and giving you some real clarity for your trip, do me a quick favour and hit that subscribe button. It honestly makes a huge difference and lets me create more guides like this for you. Now let's get back to finding your perfect London spot. Let's be real, London's an expensive city, but that doesn't mean you have to take out a second mortgage to visit. Choosing the right neighbourhood can make a difference to your budget without forcing you to stay so far out that you waste your savings on travel fares. There are a few areas that, while still in central London, are better value than the areas we've just talked about. They aren't cheap, this is London after all, but your pounds will stretch a little further. First on our list is Paddington and Bayswater. This area has been a go-to for travellers on a budget for years. Located just north of Hyde Park, its biggest selling point is transport. Paddington Station has the Heathrow Express, which gets you into the airport in just 15 minutes. The area is also on multiple tube lines. The neighbourhood itself is full of leafy squares and white Victorian townhouses, many of which are now mid-range and budget-friendly hotels. It's a solid practical choice. Next up, an area that's gone through a complete transformation, King's Cross. What used to be a somewhat dodgy transport hub is now one of London's most exciting and well-connected neighbourhoods. The redevelopment around King's Cross and St Pancras stations has created amazing public spaces like Granary Square, fantastic restaurants and shopping at Coldrops Yard. Its main selling point is connectivity, 6 tube lines plus national and international trains including the Eurostar. This has made it a hotspot for a new cluster of affordable hotels. A bit further west we have a trio of neighbourhoods that offer a brilliant strategy for savvy travellers. South Kensington, Kensington and Earls Court. Think of them as 3 distinct zones, each with its own personality. South Kensington is the cultural and intellectual heart, famous for its grand museums like the V&A, the Science Museum and the Natural History Museum. It's chic, sophisticated and defined by elegant architecture and a continental feel. Right next door is Kensington, centred around the popular shopping of Kensington High Street. It's an affluent and vibrant area known for its upmarket boutiques, beautiful homes and proximity to Kensington Palace. Then you have Earls Court, historically a hub for budget travellers and backpackers. It has a more down-to-earth, multicultural vibe. It offers a fantastic selection of more affordable hotels and it gives you a practical base right next to its posher neighbours. A key tip, be aware that many hotels advertising a Kensington address are actually in Earls Court. It's a great way to save money, but it's good to know exactly which neighbourhood you're booking. Maybe you've been to London before, or you just prefer a travel style that's less about ticking off landmarks and more about soaking up the vibe of a real neighbourhood. If that sounds like you, then stepping just outside the tourist chaos is the answer. For a blend of convenience and calm, look no further than Victoria and Pimlico. Victoria is a busy transport hub, and its surrounding streets offer incredible convenience for getting around London or taking day trips. Right next door is Pimlico, a grid of beautiful white stucco Regency townhouses. It's home to the Tate Britain, but apart from that, it lacks major sights, which is precisely its charm. It feels like a real elegant London neighbourhood, offering a peaceful retreat that's still just a short walk from the action, giving you the best of both worlds. This brings us to the big question for many travellers on a tight budget. Should you save money by staying in outer London? On paper, the logic is undeniable. A hotel in zone 3, 4 or 5 can be dramatically cheaper than one in the city centre. But you have to weigh the savings against the trade-offs in time cost and experience. The extra transport costs aren't a huge issue, as you'll probably hit your daily cap using public transport in central London anyway. And this means that staying in outer London shouldn't cost you much more than £4 to £8 more than staying closer to the city centre. The savings from staying in cheaper hotels will be a lot more than the extra you spend on the tube.
Let's look at Hammersmith. It's a major transport hub with 4 tube lines, meaning you can get to central sightseeing spots in as little as 10 to 15 minutes, plus a direct line to Heathrow. The hotels offer fantastic value for a near-central location.
Heading southeast, we find Greenwich. This area offers a unique proposition because, unlike other outer zones, it's a world-class tourist destination in its own right. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it's packed with major attractions like the Cutty Sark, the Royal Observatory and the National Maritime Museum. This means that you can stay outside the busy centre, but still have amazing sights right on your doorstep. The trade-off for having all this incredible history and the village feel is that the accommodation savings aren't as significant as in other more residential outer London areas. Another major area in East London is the Docklands, particularly Canary Wharf. This is London's second financial district, a landscape of glass skyscrapers. On weekends, you can often find fantastic deals in high-spec modern business hotels. The transport links are superb, but the area can feel a bit sterile and corporate, lacking the charm of more historic neighbourhoods. Also in East London is Stratford, a district completely transformed by the 2012 Olympics. It's now a destination in its own right, home to the huge Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park and the massive Westfield Stratford City Shopping Centre. Hotels here are modern and offer great value. Its biggest advantage is transport. Sitting in zones 2 and 3, it's a major interchange with Central, Jubilee and Elizabeth line services that can get you into the heart of London in 15 to 20 minutes. It's a fantastic choice for anyone looking for a modern, well-connected base at a lower price point. Over in northwest London is Wembley in zone 4. Many people stay here for an event at the stadium or arena, and it can be quite expensive when a big event is on. However, hotels here can be excellent value when nothing is on. Just look at the price difference between an event day and a quiet day when nothing is on. The plan is to stay here when nothing is scheduled at Wembley and use those savings for a longer trip. A fast train from Wembley Stadium station can get you to Marylebone in central London in just 12 minutes. Out east in Zone 6 is Romford. The big draw here is the Elizabeth line, providing a direct, comfortable link straight into the heart of the city in about 35 minutes. It's a purely practical choice for those looking to maximise savings. See that Spark by Hilton hotel behind me? I'm paying £81 to stay here, and it's a Saturday night, which is normally the most expensive night to stay in London. A similar hotel in central London could easily cost £250 on a Saturday night. Finally, what about staying near the XL Exhibition Centre in Zone 3? If you're attending a conference or trade show, staying here is incredibly convenient, but it's a much cheaper option to stay here when there are no events scheduled at XL. It's well connected by the DLR and the Elizabeth line, and is even within walking distance to London City Airport. However, for the general tourists, the area just lacks charm, and you'll generally only stay here if you found a great deal. But there's a good chance that you will. Ultimately, staying further out can work. But remember to factor in the cost of public transport and the time that you'll spend commuting. You'll also lose the magic of waking up in the centre of London and the convenience of being able to pop back to your hotel whenever you want. Before you book, do the maths and decide whether time or money is the most valuable currency on this trip. So there you have it, a full tour of London's hotel neighbourhoods. As you can see, the best place to stay really just depends on you. If you're a first timer, the central hubs of the West End, including Soho and Covent Garden, the South Bank, or the historic City of London, put you right in the middle of it all. If luxury and shopping are your goals, the elegance of Mayfair, Kensington, Knightsbridge and Belgravia is waiting. For those who come alive at night, the energy of Soho and the creative buzz of Shoreditch are calling your name. If you're watching your budget, well-connected areas like Bayswater, Paddington, King's Cross and Earls Court are for good value. And if you really want to save money, particularly if you're staying longer and it's not your first time in London, then you can save serious money by staying further out and commuting into central London every day. London is one of the greatest cities in the world, a massive place made up of dozens of unique villages, each with its own personality. Choosing the right one is the first step to an amazing trip. I really hope this guide made that decision a lot easier. Now, I want to hear from you. Based on all this, which London neighbourhood sounds like the perfect fit for you? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them and would love to answer any questions you still have. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more travel guides. Until next time, happy travels.